Hi friends, we're going to make this garland, but first.
Hey Siri, have Rocky clean the craft room in the hallway.
Starting to clean.
Friends, this is my crafting secret. I have had robot vacuums for 20 years. Roborock sent me this vacuum to test, and I, for a month, have been testing it out. This right here is one of the reasons I'm excited to try it. It's called like a no-tangle dual brush. I'm going to give it a go. I got a lot of hair in my house from all of our long hair. It's got a couple of features. The dog likes it. So let's just go ahead and set it up. Comes with a quick start guide. I'm just going to fill this up, add some cleaning solution, and then we are ready to actually set it down to charge. So while that's going to go and, boost itself up a little bit, I'm going to use two Dollar Tree Christmas tree ornaments, two snowflake ornaments, and these dried oranges. I shared the video on how to dry these that I found worked great. I'm going to use beads. Now I'm going for a Scandinavian style, but if you want to use Garland from the Dollar Tree, these are ties, or some berries, that would be super cute as well. This is the hardest part. Just swap them so the pretty part is on the outside, add glue to the top and bottom, making sure that when you add a 3/4 inch bead or so, you have the hole lined up at the top. And then once that's on, you're just going to squish on the other one. Now you have a 3D ornament. So I just did this with all of the trees and then the snowflakes the exact same way, making sure I lined everything up at that hole in the top. Now I'm going to use some suede cord. You can absolutely use twine, but I love this stuff. I used a needle to pull it through on the other side and just cut maybe a 5 to 6 inch piece so that I can knot them at the top and hang them. So I'm going to be hanging these so that I wanted them down a little bit. All right, so I'm going to set the actual robot up and connect it now. So here you can see this is as easy as it is. I'm just screen recording exactly what I'm doing. So now I'm going to let the robot get set up with my home. I am going to create a map. This is a secret. Now you don't need the app. You can do this all manually, but if you want to know, you can actually control everything with your voice. So my house does not look like a starfish. So I'm going to go into the settings and I'm going to create a new map. Now this will give you a little prompt and then your little robot goes all around your home. You can see how close it's getting. We're going to see if it really does stay working well with my thin legged plant stands. This right here, I had to remove the audio because I may have said a naughty word, but watch that silver button at the very back. That's the LiDAR. That means it has around sensing, so 360 degree, but it also has vertical sensing, so it can go under my Pottery Barn things that are so short. It did a little dance next to my other smart vacuum I have downstairs, but then it was done. So now that I have this map, the robot's going to go charge all the way for its first set of cleaning, and I'm going to actually set up this map. So you could leave it like this and then just tell it to clean your whole house without the map or in the app or anything like that. But I set up what are called routines because I love my floors and I cannot stand when they look a little off. So I'm going to show you. All I'm doing is separating each room and naming it. Craft room, dining room, everything, whatever. Then I'm going to go through and edit the surface. Hardwoods, I can even choose the direction of the hardwood so that it gets the crannies and nooks in between them. I am really thrilled about the thresholds because I have had previous robot vacuums destroy my wood thresholds. So you can see here, it's going to stop, pause, raise itself off so it doesn't bang into them. Now here's one of my favorite things you can set up, which is cleaning all carpet first. Yes, it's a self-cleaning mopping thing, but I want to make sure that none of my carpets are damp at all. Even this thick shag, you can see here, this is thick. I did this because it will go through and clean all of the carpets in the area that you've designated. I love that. Okay, so here you can see I have my little map. I have everything set up. Now I'm going to go into what is called Smart Control. You can set it up with She Who Shall Not Be Named, which I did, but I also set it up with my phone so that I can give her commands when I'm not there. I love that for me, and I want that for you if you want it to. So I love this part because I do a lot of cleaning. You'll see I'm a little particular, but I can also set up how much water the vacuum suction, all of that. Routines are my favorite. The reason I went through and named everything was because of this right here. I can set up zones. I can set up routines that do certain things. You can see every day of the week, it does something. My house is literally spotless. My floors are always camera ready. And this is how. I don't do them manually 3 or 4 times a week. I do it with this stuff right here. You can see. I can do vacuum only, vacuum mopping, etc. Okay, so now that my thing is charging, I'm going to go through and I'm just going to measure out the space. So I measured 80 inches for the space, another 10 inches for all the spacing, and then another 2 inches for the little loops on the end. And I decided for mine that I was going to do 2 beads. These are 1-inch beads. You can use 3/4 inch, whatever you have. And all I'm doing is using a needle to poke my dried slices. By the way, I just found out you could buy dried orange slices on Amazon. I never even knew that. I just have been making my own. Silly girl. Anyway, I just did it so that the cord was in the back, so you'll see the sunlight coming through the oranges. Isn't that fun? I love natural things. Okay, so I ran out of beads. Oh, no, I didn't. No, I didn't. I have oodles more. And then at the end, after I put everything down, I'm just going to make a little loop on each of the ends so that I can hook it up on invisible command strips, because that's what I do. And then it'll be ready. Let me show you the garland at the end. But first, every Christmas, I absolutely rearranged my home, and I was worried, right, that this map was going to have to be replaced. But don't worry, here's proof. November 1st, every November 1st, I rearranged my living room here. And so all I did is I just said, hey, go make me a new map. And it did not miss a beat. Everything was great. Now for the fun part. Yeah, that's me pouring milk on the ground. I did ketchup, which I forgot to video. I was laughing so hard in some of it that you couldn't even see it. Now this is vacuuming, and you can see it's going to pick up those crumbs that I accidentally threw. My dog, it was hard to do this with the dog. But one of the features that I love is watch. So it senses carpet, even though I didn't name that carpet in front of the garage. It's like a little mat. And it automatically changed into vacuum mode, lifted up the mops with the Adaptalift chassis, and so it's not getting wet. You can see they're not moving. I also threw a lot of stuff in front of it because that's kind of the point of having one of these things, is that it's smart, right? So it has more than 100 already identified items in its AI on board, but I threw everything else too. And it worked. It gets no cords. This here is the reason I love this one over my other ones, and that is because if you watch it, the little mop will extend out to the side and go under the doors. And look at it. This is the cleaning mode, and it's cleaning without knocking over my plants. Now, I believe that you should always know what kind of cleaning and maintenance is with any machine. It auto washes with hot water the little mopping pads. It also self-cleans the dock. After having many of these, that is a feature you love. Now, whether or not you are using the app, the machine here will tell you when something needs to be done. Now, I'm going to show you. This is after my first clean, okay? So watch. The dual divide brush, one tiny bit right here. And on the edge of the black brush, you see it on the end. Normally, I am cutting hair off of these beater bar things with all of my vacuums, my Dysons, my Ecovacs, all of my other ones. I'm cutting hair out of this thing. All of the robot vacuums, by the way, are not the same. This style of mopping is my favorite, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. But maintenance also includes checking the brush, checking the wheels, and even that little wheel to make sure everything is working. That's it. Now, I pop out these things. You can hear the little thing talking, because sometimes like string from my craft room or our hair will get around those little, see, like those little posts. So I always pull these off and make sure. Then the little mopping pads, I throw them in my washer machine. Okay, that's it. Here's my favorite bit of happiness tech. So you can see it's mopping, right? So it has dirt detection, which works way better than what I have right now. And this is where my dog chews his little bones, like his little treats. And it's doing that area again. I love that for me. And I don't have a single vacuum that gets that close to my baseboards. Okay, so back inside of the app, you can also do what's called pin and go. And so basically you just tell it where to go. See, where do you put the pin, and then the machine will actually follow there. This is an area where my dog will literally take every bit of food out of his bowl and eat it right next to his bowl on my nice clean floors. So I have to do this a little more often than anything else. So you can see it just does it, and you can see it do it in the app as well. I love that. So here's the one thing I don't like. I think it would be an amazing improvement. The back here is where the dust collection is, debris collection. See that bag? I think that should go the way of the dinosaurs. Although they are well rated and they are thick, unlike some of my other ones, they will not rip on you. I just think that we could have a bin that we can clean out the refuse without having all these consumables and cluttering up our environment. Adaptive chassis, the dual brush and the hot water mopping are my favorites, but you can read about this on the Roborock website. You can see that's the address, Qrevo CurvX. You can see this thing in person. I was on the ground literally filming it to make sure the adaptive chassis did what it said it was going to do. Another thing I do want to highlight is you get points when you have to purchase things, which I love. You can re-up those points, and there's a trade-in refund. If you already have a robot and you think it's time for an upgrade, go to the trade-in page. And that's the Garland right now as I'm doing a little gingerbread series. That's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this. Please like and follow for more.